Hello, how are you? My name is Gemma and welcome to my Devon Diary. Just over a year ago, my husband and I threw out everything we knew and took a massive gamble in moving our lives completely across the country. We left careers, jobs we loved, friends, family, our entire lives behind, bought a house that we hadn't even seen and started building what we hope to be our dream family life here in the beautiful West Country in England. A year on, we found our feet, got settled in, and we're looking forward to building our dream family life together. And I want to take you along for the journey, showing all the things I make, bake, create, and exploring all that Devon has to offer. Well, welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me again. It is Monday the 14th of October. It appears that I'm going to be recording on Monday afternoons now for a while. We'll see how that goes. And it's a bright and not too cold, actually, October afternoon. I'm looking a bit like a Punch and Judy puppet, and that is because I've been out for a nice long bracing walk with the dog and then jumped into the shower, and my veins and capillaries, middle-aged, have just gone boom. Not happy about this at all. So there we go. That is why I look like I should be going, that's the way we do it. And we'll see how the rest of it, hopefully it cools down. But the problem is I'm really aware of it, and being aware of it is kind of making me blush because I'm getting a little bit embarrassed by it, I think, or self-conscious about it. So it's just exacerbating the whole situation. So I thought I'd address it straight out the gate. This is what I look like. I'm aware I look like this. Let's move on. Quick thank you to new subscribers. There's been a flurry of you joining over the last week, and that's always lovely. And thank you as always to returning viewers. I'm so pleased that you're choosing to spend some time with me. That said, it does help my channel get out to more people if you choose to hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, or if you've not subscribed already, subscribe. That would be awesome. Thank you very much. Absolutely no pressure. Totally understand if you'd rather not do that. So I seem to be falling into a bit of a pattern and rhythm with my making, and it seems to come at the end of the week. I do little bits during the week. I might do a few stitches here and there or a project, but my actual main making time really gets started from sort of Thursday onwards. And so, yeah, we've got a kind of a weekend of making to share with you again today. As you can see, my autumn yarn basket, which, considering it's been more than a month now, you'd expect to start seeing some things disappearing. Nothing's happened to it, and that shows kind of where the making's been. But yeah, I've got some great projects to share with you. I've got 2 finishes, both for my son, no, 3 finishes. I've got some baking to share with you, and yeah, that's it really. Just a few little bits. So hopefully you enjoy your time with me today. So I'm not going to do this in kind of day order this time because it all kind of happened over the weekend and it happened in bits and pieces. So I'm just kind of going to go through the projects I've been making and share them with you with a little bit of B-roll, and hopefully that is okay. So we kicked off on Friday. I said I'm not going to do this, but I am. With finishing off, I've lost it, with finishing off our decoupage pumpkin. So here it is. I shared it last time. It's a form from Hobbycraft, which is this kind of brown paper type stuff, but it's quite solid. Shall I do that annoying ASMR thing? Oh my god, it drives me mad. I see all these reels, and especially at the moment with like Halloween cookies and baking and things for autumn, which are really exciting, I want to watch, and part way through, like every single video, you could almost guarantee there's going to be a moment where someone like taps their nails on the side of a jar, and it's like, oh, why are you doing this? Why? Please stop. Please stop. What is it? Why are we now duty bound by the internet to tap our fingernails on things? It's driving me slightly batty. What drives you batty? I'd love to know. Let's not name any names. We're not naming and shaming. We're just sharing those moments, because I'm sure we all have them. There's probably something I do that winds you up, but then if there is, I'm assuming you're no longer here. Anyway, rant aside, we finished our decoupage pumpkin on Friday. Robin's a dab hand with the PVA glue. I really enjoy it as well, and we both really enjoy peeling it off our skin when we get a bit messy. I think most people can probably relate to that. I remember getting in trouble, my friends and I getting a little bit of, not really trouble, but a spot of bother at primary school when we spent more time gluing our hands than we did gluing the paper for whatever it was we were meant to be doing. But it's so satisfying peeling it off afterwards, isn't it? Anyway, so I love it. I really love it. It's been simple, it's been fun. Robin asked for another one today in Hobbycraft, and I'm just going to try and steer him away from that and perhaps experiment with maybe trying our own forms out and seeing if I can create things to decoupage. But yeah, I think we'll be bringing this out each year as long as it survives. I'm quite happy, quite thrilled with that. Yeah. So our main walk this weekend, we went to the woods because it was due to not rain, and it's been very, 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 very wet here for the past week. And at the same time as it got very, very wet here, there was an article came out in the newspaper, online version of a newspaper, to say that where I used to live, where I grew up, is the driest place in the UK. It's like, yeah, I kind of missed that bit of it. Thoughts, obviously, go out to everyone affected by the hurricanes and storms that have been going on in the US over the past couple of weeks. A couple of my friends have had house damage and things. It's been pretty awful. So although I am good-naturedly moaning about the rain, I'm not intending to make light of the situation at all. I'm fully aware that I'm incredibly blessed to be living where I am. Moving on. We went for a walk in Brunel Woods on Saturday, and that's the footage you're going to be seeing. It was land that was donated by Zimbabwe Brunel to the community, and he was instrumental, among other things, in producing the Great Western Railway, which it makes him one of my son's heroes because he's a fully paid up trainiac. So yeah, we've been enjoying looking at sweet chestnuts and leaves and mushrooms and all sorts of wonderful autumnal things. So hope you enjoy that peppered in here as well. Now here's where it gets a little bit messy. I've got no idea what I did on what day. So we're going to dive straight in with finished objects, and ta-da! There we go. And you might be thinking, Gemma, you showed us this last week. I did, but I hadn't done the buttonholes at that point. And I've done the buttonholes and it didn't go wrong. Well, it did go wrong, but I'll share how in a minute. So buttonholes, most modern sewing machines have a buttonhole setting. You dart between 2 or 3 settings and the machine does the work for you. So please don't be scared of them. It's super, super simple. My machine has 3 settings, and you start with A in the middle, and that's at the top of the buttonhole, and it just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to put some stitches over where the top of the buttonhole is going to be. Then you switch to B, the needle hops over across to the other side of the foot and does a very, very tight zigzag stitch down the ways to the bottom of where you want your buttonhole to be. Then you switch back to the middle one, it does the bottom, switch over to D, leaps over to the other side, does the other side of the buttonhole. Could not be simpler. And the first one, the fabric didn't really want to move, so I did do a test buttonhole on a t-shirt of mine. And the buttonhole foot has this really nifty setting where it moves backwards and forwards, and you can actually set it to the size you want your buttonhole. And this is where it went slightly wrong. You'll notice that there are no buttons on here, despite there being some beautiful buttonholes, which I shall endeavour to show you. There we go. You can just about see them. There we go. It's my thumbnail poking through. There's another one. There's 5. There's 5 of them. And the reason for that is because I'm predominantly a knitter, I made the mistake of thinking that I should make my buttonholes smaller than my buttons, because in knitted fabric, certainly in my experience, you might have a better way of making buttonholes. I'd love to hear it. it tends to stretch over time. So you kind of want your buttons to just squeeze through to start with. Anyway, not so with sewing, because fabric, particularly when it's been reinforced by the buttonhole stitch, does not do that. So I made these beautiful buttonholes, 5 buttonholes. Took me quite a while to measure and get the spacing right as I wanted them. And my lovely buttons that I had bought didn't fit through. They did not fit through, which was kind of devastating in a way. Before I dropped my son off to his nanny and granddad's, we had a bit of a dash to Hobbycraft to pick up some more buttons. And the size difference, I haven't got one to hand to show you. The size difference is bonkers. These are like teeny, teeny, tiny, the sort I'd put on baby's 4-ply cardigan. But they'll do. They will do. How many mils is these? It doesn't actually say how many millimetres they are. But there we are. So those will be going on. And these pyjamas, which I am so, so proud of. I've just slung them now because I'm proud of them. The pyjamas I am so proud of are going to be packaged up for my son for his birthday, which is in 3 weeks' time. Originally, I had plans to make him another pair for his birthday, but I'm beginning to get the measure of what I'm capable of, and I'm not going to put myself under that sort of pressure. But there we are, and hopefully he will really like them. So, looks. Don't be too shocked, but I have a second finished object and the ends are woven in. Are you ready? There we are. I finished it. I have finished my son's, we're going to call it his birthday sweater. So this is the, you can all say it. What is this, everyone? It's Exactly, the Flax by Tin Can Knits, which you are probably sick to the back teeth of seeing by now because I keep knitting it. But it's fab. I know it's an absolutely fab pattern. I was saying originally when I was recording, because this is the second recording, I'm afraid, because it all went a bit wrong. Technical issues, as often happens. I was saying with the pyjamas that I'm going to make another pair. I'm really excited to make another pair, and it's not like knitting because when you're doing the same pattern twice, you can apply things you've learned. You might do different sizes, different fabrics. So I'm not too bothered about making the same sewing pattern over and over again. But I don't tend to do that with knitting. And then I realised that, of course, this is my 6th, 7th flax that I've knit in the past 3 years. It's a fantastic pattern. What can I say? It's available for free. The Tin Can Knits app is brilliant, also free. And I've made this, and it's a free jumper. The actual jumper is free. You ready for the maths here? I've used leftovers from 4 of the different flax sweaters that I have knit for my son over the past, well, in the first sort of 2 years or so of his life. So, yeah, I think the yellow one was the first one I ever knit for him, and that was 6 to 12 month size. And then it was the green one, which was his Christmas sweater for technically his second Christmas. He was only just a year old. He was 6 weeks on his first Christmas. And then I think I did the blue one next, and I did the red one for his Christmas sweater last year. So yeah, so these are all what's left from those projects. So essentially I've kind of got a sweater for free. That's my logic. So yeah, what else can I say about it? This looks a bit interesting. You can see the stitching is a bit uneven, a bit ratty looking. The fabric's possibly a little bit see-through just on this green section here and here. And the reason for that is because I had to undo a pair of mittens, and I did spend some time unravelling these mittens. And I can't get the footage because my other phone is refusing to charge, which is a shame. It took me a good hour or so to unravel, but I'd run out of the green, and he's not wearing his mittens anyway. He's at the stage where I'm going to have to start making him gloves so he can use his fingers. So rather than buy a new ball of wool or have uneven striping, I decided to unravel these mittens. And what I didn't do was I didn't skein wash and set the yarn. I just went straight to it. The thing is, it's pure wool. It is superwash, but it's pure wool. So I think that when this has had its first wash and block, that'll even right out. So, and if it doesn't, it's for a 3-year-old. He's going to be 3. I don't know how that happened. And he did actually try it on, having said he didn't like it, didn't want it. That's the back. Having said he didn't like it and didn't want it for ages, when I was trying to try it on him for length, last night, out of nowhere, he asked to try it on. I was just so happy. I was so happy. He's going through some stuff at the moment, as toddlers are wont to do. Did you know they go through the same like amount of hormonal changes, the same like intensity, gravity of hormonal changes as you do as a teenager when you're a toddler? Mad. When you think about that, and the fact they're trying to make sense of the world and all the rest of it, it totally makes sense. So when he gets frustrated or overwhelmed, has quite strong sensory issues. I'm not going to go into it all now, but it's just a thing. And his trigger when he's overwhelmed is to do with sensory stuff. And he's always loved his knitwear. He's refusing point blank to wear his new woolly socks, which has made me a bit sad, but never mind. I enjoy making them. And he had no interest whatsoever in this sweater. So when he tried it on the other night, I was so happy. It was interesting because the sleeve wasn't finished, the second sleeve, and the needles are dangling, and that really freaked him out. Things that dangle, nope, he doesn't do dangly things. That's partly why I ripped out the mittens as well, because they were joined together by an I-cord, and he can't handle them dangling out from his sleeves. So yeah. Anyway, I love it. Absolutely love it. So let's head into the kitchen now. We're surrounded by family here, which is really nice, and great auntie and uncle. So my husband's great auntie and uncle, my mother-in-law's auntie and uncle, that's right. Great auntie and uncle have a beautiful apple tree in their garden, and last week they dropped round some apples and my husband's birthday card. And we were using them, and I thought I fancied making a cake, so I made an apple cake. So the recipe is from Traditional Devon Recipes, a little book that I've shared before with things I'm trying to make out of them. And it seemed fairly simple, so we cracked on. I did make a mistake and not chop them well enough, but the resulting cake was really lovely. It was really moist, and I don't usually make rich fruit cakes like this. Robin enjoyed it. My husband's got some sensory issues with regards to his texture of food, and he was saying, oh, it smells so good, I wish I could try and eat it. So he actually had some of the sponge. We picked out all the fruity bits and he thought it was really good as well. So there we are. Next, I've wanted to make breakfast muffins for a while, and I got on with it. I did it this weekend and it was really, really satisfying. We had them for dinner on Sunday night in the end because I wanted to eat them when they were fresh. So I minced up some sausage meat and made kind of like sausage patties in the same way as you might from McDonald's, fried a couple of eggs, did some bacon, and it went down very well with everyone in the household. And we had the remaining ones this morning for breakfast with jam and butter. Robin had lemon curd, and they were just really nice. And it was so satisfying. My goodness, though, did I feel it in my arms? And I still can today, because 10 minutes of kneading this dough is a bit of a workout. I'm definitely going to be making them again. And I think this weekend I'm going to try my hand at making some bread rolls as well. I really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed the baking again in general. So that's it really, not much else to report. Plans for this week, sew the buttons onto that shirt. I've got another couple of projects I want to finish up. Baking, I've said I'd like to do the bread rolls, and we'll have another go at muffins. And yeah, that's it really, not a lot else to share. I'm still on a bit of a mission to finish things up, and I've got a long list of works in progress that I think I shared with you a month or so ago now, beginning of September, and I'm gradually starting to work my way through those. So I think next on my list is that granny square jumper, get that finished. Then I've got a jumper which will be for the kind of Christmas season at the yarn shop to do. And I've got a jumper on the needles for great grandma, who keeps being really envious of, I'm sorry folks, it's a flax, but it's an adult flax in different yarns. So that's a win, isn't it? That's a win. So I've got a few bits that I want to finish up and do. So I'm basically, my plan is to carry on working through things and finishing them off. I was working on the second sock for my husband, for Kingfisher socks on the dog walk. Whoops. And I think, to be honest, this might get finished soon. I was working on it a lot during my first Teach Training conference I had a full day conference last week and I haven't touched it since. And then did some more on the dog walk. And I think I've got maybe about 15 rounds and then the toe to do. So that will be finished. That'll be a finished object next time. Oh, the other thing I'm doing, I do have something to share, but I haven't got it with me to show you, is I'm trying my first ever crochet ghost. So I've got this lovely white chenille yarn from That Crafty Stitch, which is a lovely new craft shop that has opened in Torquay. I do have a vlog to edit of the opening of that shop, but she's almost 2 months in now. So I think it's not too late to not be relevant. We're still introducing a new shop to new people, but she is online as well. Anyway, I got this lovely chenille yarn from her and was trying to make an amigurumi ghost because my son, as I think I've shared with you before, is mad about Halloween. So yeah, it's going okay. Amigurumi is definitely a new skill for me. I've done very little of it in the past. I would love to do more of it. I struggle with counting my stitches and rows in crochet when it's something like that. So I'll share that with you. But what I'm really excited about is that within the next week or so, hopefully 2 weeks, I'm going to have a whole host of little ghosts to share with you, because the fantastic Maddie, who I've mentioned loads, she's a good friend of mine, as you know, and she has the House of Langford podcast, has got her website going again with things that she's making, and she's got these adorable little teeny tiny amigurumi ghosts, and I have ordered them as party favours for my son's birthday party. He's having a few little friends. We're taking them to the Play Cafe, and he's having a little birthday party with some little friends. And instead of doing party bags with all the kind of usual that you put in these things, which are great, I've got nothing against that. It's just, I find that after a while it becomes clutter, or it's plastic and it gets thrown away and whatever. So rather than doing traditional kind of party bags, I'm doing these. I'm not doing them, Maddie's doing them. I've ordered these little amigurumi ghosts from Maddie, and he's going to lose his mind. And I'm going to work on the big one and I've got orange as well, so I want to do a pumpkin. So I'll be working on that for him. I will still give that to him. It's just they've got these little ones. So do go and check her channel if you haven't already. And that's that. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you next week to share some more of my Devon Diary. Take care. Bye.
Can you help me lift it up? Whoa! What do you think? Cake. Does it look yummy?
Yeah.
Would you like to eat some? Yeah, what?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Here's a tub.
Here's a tub.
It goes on the cake.
Okay, it does go on the cake to keep it safe.
To keep it safe.
Right, okay, how much cake do you want?
I want a corner cake.
A corner of a circular cake. Do you want that much?
Yeah, not much.
Okay.
I could eat it very well.
You could eat it very well.
It was neat.
Oh, it's broken a bit. That's what we cook on. You haven't seen those yet, really, because you've not been up here. There we go.
Thanks.
Do you want to try some?
Okay. I said okay.
Okay. Oh, in it goes. Is that good?